Today, as mentioned, we'll be talking all about the Sustainability Certificate, and we're thrilled to have you here. We're really excited to share with you all the different ways that you can integrate sustainability into your MBA journey. So as mentioned, my name is Jen Graham. I'm the Associate Director of the MIT Sloan Sustainability Initiative. I oversee all things related to the student experience within the initiative, which includes the Sustainability Certificate, among many other things. Later, I'm going to be joined by two of our current students to share a little bit about their journey. And we're all excited to be a resource for you as you explore all that MIT Sloan has to offer. So Melissa, with that, next slide, please. Before we begin, I want to take a moment to acknowledge that the MIT Sloan Sustainability Initiative is located on the traditional and unceded territory of the Wampanoag tribe of Aquinnah and the Mashpee Wampanoag tribe. We recognize these ancestral caretakers and honor the many Indigenous peoples with connections to this land. Before I share the specifics about the certificate content, I wanted to share a little bit more about the Sustainability Initiative, which is the center that oversees the certificate. I want to first share how we define sustainability. Sustainability is the crucial harmony between healthy environments, thriving societies, and ethical businesses and institutions, working together to create equitable economies that fulfill human needs. We developed this definition using what we call this PROMISE framework, which is a framework that highlights the systemic structures and complexity of this system. As you can see, the acronym PROMISE comes from each level of the framework. It shows how people work together between personal and relational work, how they can work in a firm or an organization, how they're influenced by the market and other institutions such as government, and even a more broader set of constraints comes from society and the natural environment. The directions of influence work both ways, with each level affecting one another. So we really use this framework to try to teach students to keep this in mind as you start to design and develop your own initiatives at any level, either as a student or well into your career. Next slide. Thanks, Melissa. From here, I wanted to highlight the mission of the Sustainability Initiative, and that is to provide the best education, apply academic rigor to real-world problems, empower leaders to act professionally, personally, and collectively so that humans and nature can thrive for generations to come. This mission is the foundation of all of our work, whether curriculum development, research, or community development. And here I also wanted to highlight just a glimpse of the different ways that an MBA student can embed sustainability into the MIT Sloan experience. We'll talk more about curriculum, of course, today and discuss these specifics around the certificate. But I also wanted to highlight that we offer lots of co-curricular opportunities for engagement. And in terms of career development and networking building, we provide a ton of opportunities for you to connect not only with your fellow cohort members, but also with program alumni, peers from other schools, and potential employers, also that you can significantly enhance your student and career journey. Now, today's main focus, of course, is all about the Sustainability Certificate. So if we zoom in on the certificate, as mentioned, it represents our primary academic offering and offers an excellent opportunity to tailor your MBA experience specifically towards topics of sustainability. As part of the certificate cohort, you'll have the chance to choose from over 50 courses in sustainability topics. You'll be part of a cohort made up of about 100 students per year from across graduate degree programs, and you'll be able to join a growing community of alumni taking action. So why pursue the Sustainability Certificate? First, it serves as a clear demonstration of your dedication to this topic. Simply by including this affiliation on your resume, it can convey to prospective employers your strong focus on a career that prioritizes positive impact. It also allows you to join this community of like-minded classmates, faculty, alumni, professionals inside and outside of the classroom. We have a cohort model which enables us to interact with you not only as a current student, but also as an active alum, fostering engagement through events, educational offerings, and community involvement. And lastly, it allows you to tailor your MIT experience to meet your professional goals, as Melissa mentioned earlier. Now here we have spotlighted just a few alumni stories featuring graduates of this program who have embarked on remarkable journeys following their time at Sloan and who are still very much engaged with the initiative and this community. So what does the certificate entail? As an MBA student, you will need to complete 5 to 6 courses total in order to meet a minimum of 45 units. Now, I'll highlight just in a moment the 3 required courses for the certificate, which will add up to 24 to 27 units, and then you'll need to fulfill the remaining number of units through our elective courses. So it's fairly straightforward. The completion of these 5 to 6 courses will enable you to be able to graduate at the end of your MBA program. So let's go over those required courses. So first, you'll have to take Business Strategies for a Sustainable Future, which is taught by our faculty directors, Jason Jay and John Sturman. I'll talk more about that class in just a moment. This class is 9 units and is offered every spring semester. The second required course is called System Dynamics. Depending on which course you choose to take, you will complete either 6 or 9 units. And this course is offered every semester, and there's multiple sections that you can choose from. System Dynamics is an intro to systems thinking, which is very important because understanding sustainability requires a systems thinking approach, which is why we require this course as a foundation towards a certificate. And then the third required course you'll need to complete is our Sustainable Business Lab, which is taught by our co-director, Bethany Patton. And I'll discuss this course again in just a moment. It is also 9 units and is also only offered every spring semester. This is our Action Learning Lab, and it is the last requirement towards the certificate. So if I go into more detail to BSSF, which is the acronym for Business Strategies for a Sustainable Future, as I mentioned, this is offered every spring, and it teaches the fundamental tools for solving complex environmental and social challenges. In the next slide, we highlight what the course really entails. So we use a 4-lens approach to sustainability that is rooted in science and is driven by purpose. So during this course, you'll participate in numerous in-class simulations, 2 of which are highlighted here. Additionally, you'll actively take part in in-class discussions, analyze case studies, and you'll have the opportunity to listen to guest speakers every week throughout the semester. If I go in more depth to talk about S-Lab, as I mentioned, S-Lab is our Action Learning Lab. Students in this class will be placed on a team with 3 classmates, and then you'll be matched with an organization to solve a sustainability challenge over the course of the spring semester. All of the projects, you will hear all about the projects in your first class, and then you'll actually bid on your top 3 choices before you're matched to a team. So as you work on your project, you'll receive the resources necessary. You'll be connected with a designated contact in said organization, whom you'll meet with about once a week. And then you'll also be matched with a subject matter expert who's going to act as your mentor throughout the semester. During the final class of S-Lab, you'll do a poster session where your team will share your final deliverables, where we invite the broader MIT Sloan community to join and learn about all of the projects. Now, in the next slide, we've highlighted just a few projects from S-Lab students in recent years. We source a variety of projects focused on different areas of sustainability. And here you might recognize some of the organizations that we work with year after year. The Boston Red Sox has hosted multiple projects in recent years. This particular project focused on emission reduction through the refurbishment of low-income housing. Block Power is another company that has engaged with us over the past 2 years. They're a startup in the renewable energy space, but one of their lines of work is building sustainable cities with a focus on workforce development. And this particular project focused on generating a prioritized list of 50 US cities for decarbonization efforts. And then Fidelity is another key partner of ours in SLab. This particular project focused on creating new onboarding procedures aimed at accommodating candidates with disabilities. Now, if you're curious about hearing about other projects, we have highlighted several of our SLab teams on our website, which we will update year after year. So I encourage you to check out our website to learn more. Now, if we pivot to talk just a little bit about your elective options, this is just another way to be able to customize your sustainability or academic path even further. As I mentioned, you'll need to complete several sustainability-focused electives as part of the certificate. And here on your screen is a QR code to our website where we highlight over 50 pre-approved elective options from across MIT. Now, of course, there's always new courses being offered, so we do our best to update this website each semester. And as you head into registration, we'll offer several programs and resources so that you can best map out your academic journey. Now, I've shared quite a bit of information with you, and of course, you can head to our website to stay updated on all things relevant to the certificate. But I highly recommend that you stay connected through our newsletter and our social media. So here is a QR code that will allow you to sign up for our weekly newsletter. And definitely check us out on LinkedIn and Instagram, as well as a few of the other platforms listed here. I highly encourage you to stay engaged, and if you want to reach out to me with any specific questions, please do not hesitate. Now we're going to pivot, and I'd like to introduce two exceptional MBA students who are going to share a bit more about their MBA experiences with you. Teresita Beza is an MBA 2024 and the current co-president of the student club Sloan Entrepreneurs for International Development, also known as SEED. And Olivia Jones, who is also an MBA 2024 and the co-president of the MIT Food and Agriculture Club. We invite them both to share their MBA journeys and a bit more behind their choice to pursue the sustainability certificate. So maybe Teresita, I'll invite you to share first.
Hi, thank you, Jen. Thank you for the intro. Hi, everyone. So as Jen was saying, my name is Teresita. I'm from Chile. I'm already a second year. The time flies, so it has been an amazing experience. I decided to pursue the sustainability certificate for various different reasons. Some of them were mentioned by Jen throughout the presentation. So my background is in the public sector, where I had the chance to be involved in topics related to climate change. Chile was going through a huge drought. Chile led the COP25 conference at that moment, and different topics that I was feeling a bit close to, but I didn't have much background. So the opportunity of doing an MBA and having a certificate that could signal to the private sector that I have an involvement in this ecosystem and I have knowledge and I have already been part of a community was one of the main reasons why I wanted to be part of the sustainability certificate. And also because it's an amazing journey to realize how many spaces, different spaces and opportunities you can have and find within it. So as Jen was mentioning, business strategy for sustainable futures is an excellent example of it. You go through the different lenses of how you can approach sustainability. And it's there where you can find how your peers are also being involved in the space and find different connections, synergies. Is that where I met Liv, that she will be also sharing her experience. We work together in SLab, and even though our backgrounds might be a bit different, we both connect strongly in food and agriculture related topics and so on. So I would say sustainability certificate has been for me an opportunity to be part of a network, a huge network. So it's not only the Sloanies where you are doing the program, but also former Sloanies. The alumni network is amazing. They are super open. You can reach out to them when you're looking for an internship or if you want to know more about the companies that they're working with. So the network within the Sloan students, alumni, and also faculty is, I don't know, I have no words to explain how great they are. And also then you have this content and career related aspect of the certificate that I think it adapts perfectly with different goals. So even though we all have different career paths that we want to pursue, the sustainability certificate can adapt perfectly because it has this like the three courses that are mainly, and you have to do them, but then you can navigate the different options that are in the link that Jen shared. Liv, if you want to also present yourself.
Yeah, thanks, Terry. Yeah, so I came to Sloan honestly for the sustainability certificate. I was looking for a program that had a really strong sustainability ecosystem. And so MIT has that as well as Sloan. We do a lot of like cross events with other schools in the area as well. So I was really attracted to that. And then, yeah, S-Lab was fabulous with Terry. We got to work with a company that was started by Sloanies in the Boston area, focused on supply chain and sustainable packaging. And that was super helpful and instructive. And I actually got my internship through the sustainability initiative as well, from an alumni who posted, and then the initiative kind of sponsored me there as well and subsidized that experience. And I can go into more of that later. But yeah, I was really looking to transition my career into sustainability, and so far the initiative has been incredibly helpful for getting that going. Jen, I can turn it back to you, or if we want to speak about specific things. I don't know.
Yeah, I think before we open it up for Q&A, Teresita and Liv, if you both could share a little bit about your summer internship experience, either the recruitment process, timeline, I think is really relevant to share with our audience, and just a reflection on the summer internship experience itself and how that has influenced your full-time search.
Yeah, I can kick it off. So like I said, I was looking for something in the food and ag space. I'm the co-president of the club. I really wanted to focus on sustainable food processes. And I found this great opportunity on the CDO through the Sustainability Initiative, working with the strawberry supply chain in the US. It was a World Wildlife Fund sponsored project. So we worked with strawberry growers and different major grocery chains within the US to look at the entire supply chain and identify hotspots of where there's major food waste, and then come up with ways to mitigate that loss. Yeah, it was fabulous. I got to travel onto the farms and to the distribution centers where a lot of our food comes from. And in terms of timeline, I actually found mine kind of close to the end of first semester. So some, we kind of have three different tracks of like dirt road, jungle, or highway, I think it's called. Mine was a little more dirt road, I would say, because I still use the CDO, but it was later in the year, and that was totally fine and worked out really well for me.
Thanks, Liv. I think it was a bit similar on like timeline wise. Last year was a crazy year, and you also want to explore different options while never forgetting what are you looking for. So for me, it was a very long journey. What I knew that I wanted is a internship related with companies trying to transition to a more sustainable way of doing business. That was like my main goal. And that could be within a big company, that could be tech company, any industry, but also could be consulting companies that are helping different industries. So towards the end of the year, I found an internship in a consulting startup that is helping companies to transition to a more sustainable way of doing business. It's called Earth Finance. And it was, I would say, dirt road or jungle, because it wasn't part of the official process of the career development office. It was something that was born throughout the different spaces that the sustainability initiative at Sloan has. I was working in the sustainability summit, and we had different events, networking event, and that after the summit, I got to meet people that attended it, and that's how I met my future boss in the internship. So it was a great opportunity. It was a chance to getting out of my comfort zone, doing something very different. So from the public sector. transitioning to the private sector into consulting roles, which is like very different, even though that you could have some of the skill set, you have to apply them in a different way. So for me, the internship was a great opportunity to be surrounded by people that have been in this journey for a long time. So they have a lot of experience in energy transition, food and agriculture, or entrepreneurship. And on the other hand, it was like testing my own skill set and understanding what is that I need to look forward during this last year of the MBA. What are the skills that I need to develop and improve? And what are the ones that I feel more comfortable with? And that should be like my main points in this new full-time recruiting process. So I would say that the sustainability initiative and the certificate were super helpful because looking for an internship, I reached out to alumni. I talked a lot with Jen and with other faculty members to understand what are the best ways to approach this job search.
Amazing. So, I mean, you both leverage the community that we have developed in this ecosystem of alumni who are looking to engage with current students, either through the Sustainability Summit or through simply posting with the Career Development Office, which is amazing. So before we pivot to Q&A, just one more follow-up question regarding the courses that you have decided to pursue, especially to fulfill that elective requirement for the certificate. We'd love to hear about some of the courses that you've taken outside of the 3 requirements for the certificate, and how that impacted either your summer internship or has impacted and taught you the skills that are relevant for your full-time search.
Sure, I can jump into this one. So for me, taking the first, like the main required courses are very useful before jumping into the electives, because it gives you the big picture, the mindset, as Jen was mentioning, system dynamics. It's a very cool class to understand the approach of the sustainability lens. I'm now taking my first elective, which is GLAB, Global Entrepreneurship Lab. That it's an amazing class. I hope that you all have already heard about. But the cool thing is that they allow you to make it part of the elective requirement if you find a project that has sustainability related stuff. So I will be working in Kenya in a startup related to food and agriculture. We still not know much about it. We are just starting, but I'm super thrilled to have the opportunity to do more of these like hands-on experiences. So S-Lab was a great experience, and I'm looking forward to this one because I think that the MIT like hands-on learning, it's the best way to learn, at least for me. And the other one that I'm looking to take on spring is People and Profit. I think that the fact that you can have classes more related to the people side of sustainability, it's a great option. And I think it's a very open perspective that MIT has about climate change issues. So that's why I'm looking forward to the next semester.
Yeah, I would say I really appreciate the breadth of classes you can take to fulfill the certificate elective requirement. I took a class at the Department of Urban Studies and Planning, actually, so outside of Sloan, that was focused on Indigenous environmental planning. So we worked with Native-led organizations across the US to help them with different things that they had going on, and from like a sustainable lens, I would say. So the skills that I learned in BSSF and with Terry and S-Lab were really helpful for that. The hands-on planning and like working with an actual real organization to implement their goals was awesome. I actually took People and Profits last semester. It was my favorite class. I loved it. The professor is incredible. So highly recommend. I wish she taught even more classes. But yes, those are some of my highlights, favorites.
Great, thank you both so much. Melissa, I think at this point we'd love to take some questions from the audience.
Yes.
You'd maybe like to take a look and then either feel free to ask each one of us individually, or we can just jump in.
Sure. Yeah. So I have a bunch of questions. So one of the questions is the certificate open to people who are not just in the MBA program? So like Sloan Fellows, MPhil, MBAN.
Great question. And the answer is yes. our certificate is open to any graduate level student at MIT. So if you're pursuing, say, the Sloan Fellows program, Master of Finance, Masters in Business Analytics, yes, you can also pursue the certificate. There are a few exceptions in terms of the unit requirements, but you simply would work with me to understand what the requirements are for your particular program.
Awesome. One of the questions is, what portion of the certificate focuses on the climate element of the topic?
Great question. I mean, climate is really the foundation of all of the work and all of the curriculum offerings that we have as part of the certificate. As you have heard, we also have a large social impact focus, but climate and climate change and the impacts of climate change is really the foundation of a lot of, especially the 3 required courses that we offer, and that will fluctuate with the electives. But even in BSSF, one of the simulations that you will spend 2 classes focusing in on is all about a simulation called En-ROADS, which highlights the direct impact of climate change and how we can impact policy to help mitigate the rising temperature level. So we spend at least those 2 classes on that one simulation, really focusing on the impact of climate. And a lot of the material within our curriculum is really high foundationally set in climate topics.
Great.
Teresita and Liv, I don't know if you have more insight in terms of your elective classes you've taken.
Yeah, I think climate is always at the, like, in everyone's minds as they grapple with anything that we discuss in class, like even people in profits, which is focused on designing the workplace and how it affects different segments of the population. Climate factors heavily into that with the industries that we look at, and then like the disparate effects, especially in the US, across different lines, racial and equitable lines. So always at the forefront, climate. Yeah.
Awesome. So what support is available to students as they navigate the requirements and different electives?
Great question. So I often meet with students one-on-one as they head to registration. So I am not officially an advisor, but I take on the advisor role as specifically as it relates to the certificate, or even if you're just simply exploring courses that are relevant to sustainability. I meet with students one-on-one. We offer a whole lunch series program where we invite faculty who are teaching courses relevant to sustainability for the upcoming semester. They'll give a quick pitch. We record the session. We distribute it to students. We have a PDF version of courses that are being offered. Even outside of curricular offerings, we'll highlight different upcoming conferences, events. We'll even highlight courses that you can take and cross-register for at Harvard that are relevant in sustainability. So as long as you stay engaged with our communications, with our events, and you become familiar with myself and the Sustainability Initiative team, you'll be well advised in terms of what courses are most relevant to what you're seeking in this program.
Great. So 2 questions. How applicable is this certificate for people who want to explore the science behind climate solutions / green biotech?
Great question. For this particular student, I would certainly advise taking a look at some of the more science-focused courses offered at MIT. As I mentioned, you can cross-register with many other departments across campus. We have a lot of students, particularly that take part in the Energy Club, that are really focused in science-based courses. And what I do is I collect all of the courses that previous graduates from the club have taken, so that you can see what other students have pursued in this area. But there are more and more courses each semester being offered that are rooted in climate science. So depending on the specific path that you would like to pursue, I would advise starting there, and then we can see how else we can customize your experience.
Great. So what are some possible career paths for somebody who receives this certificate?
Great question. So we have various different career paths that our graduates have pursued. Whether you are looking to pursue a more entrepreneurial path and perhaps align yourself with an early stage startup, we have a lot of founders and folks who have joined early stage organizations and have really developed and grown those organizations, depending on what the topic might be. We've had lots of students who have pursued careers in the food and agriculture space, policy, science-based candidates and graduates. How we kind of categorize our career pathing is really, it's honed in industry interests, but it's also rooted in, do you want to pursue a traditional business role within a traditional organization, or do you want to focus on a more sustainability-led role or a sustainability or mission-driven organization? We actually have a whole program all about sustainability careers that we have held just 2 weeks ago, and we do have a recording of that, which I'm happy to distribute to anybody who joins today's webinar, where we go into specifics in terms of this jungle, dirt road, highway approach, because in sustainability, because it's a very umbrella term, it is difficult to categorize it similar to, say, a finance-led role or an accounting-led role. So using this approach, this dirt road approach, to be able to really think about what area of sustainability do I want to work in? What sort of organization do I want to work in? What sort of day-to-day do I want to pursue? We really take into account that self-reflection piece before creating a plan or career pathing plan while you're a student here at MIT. And we do have data in terms of where our graduates land, which we shared during that program. So I'm happy to distribute some of those statistics. I know that's a very kind of broad response, but that answer is never, it's never really black and white, because everybody really has their own career path story to share, and how they want to make impact in their career.
Perfect. Awesome. Yes, I'm glad you brought that up again. We had a few questions about the different tracks, so thank you for sharing. What if somebody doesn't have any prior sustainability experience? Is the sustainability certificate a great way to then pivot?
Yes, wholeheartedly, yes. And maybe, you know, Teresita and Liv, you shared just a little bit about your story prior to MIT Sloan, but it would be great to kind of hear that first person perspective. But I will say yes, because our 3 required courses do allow you to, again, get that foundational understanding of sustainability related challenges and how you can apply your business degree to help solve those.
Yeah, I'll add, Jen. Prior to Sloan, I was working in management consulting for large banks, mostly in regulatory change management. Nothing focused on like sustainability or climate change or anything like that. And so I did come to MIT purely to pivot, because I was looking to do something related to sustainability and food and agriculture. And the certificate's been incredible for like facilitating that pivot. Even with my internship, it was, yeah. So I think there's many that are like that as well.
Yeah, and it's also really cool because it allows you to learn from faculty, but also for your peers. So there's a lot of like classmates that know a lot, that are like for years in the climate space or energy that is super specific, and they know a lot of like, I don't know, words and carbon markets and stuff like that. You feel really lost at the beginning, but the classes that they ask you to take in the first and the second semesters, they are the way to get into the space without getting overwhelmed and feeling that you have a part to play in the whole picture. So it helps you to see the big picture, to understand what is that you want to learn from it, because we are not able to learn everything, but there is a place for you. And I think that the sustainability initiative does do that like really well. It takes you by the hand, shows you the different options, career-wise and also content-wise, and then you have the opportunity to choose within the different electives and in what kind of projects you want to be involved in.
Mm-hmm. I'll also mention that The reason why we include SLab as a required course, it is intentional because it allows students to have experiential learning in the classroom, working with an organization and gaining that sustainability experience that's relevant to an internship or a full-time job search. So when we created the program, we had a lot of students pivoting in their own careers and needing to gain that sort of experience to highlight on a resume or during the interview process. And so that allows you to gain that experience, really understanding the foundational challenges and being able to apply your knowledge to solve that.